Pookie, no! Don't do it, Pookie! Don't kill the world! Don't let the Starmen tell you that they're gonna do good stuff, because they're actually gonna do bad stuff. What is going on, guys? Today we're back with another deep dive, and today we're actually going to be going over one of my favorite Pokemon to honestly use in the Great League. I mean, this guy is just the bee's knees, except up against any kind of grass types. You definitely don't want to do that. Either way though, today we're actually going to be looking at Quagsire, who is a water and ground type Pokemon, maxing out at 1992, which is the best CP to max out at, if I do say so myself. With a 0-1 attack, 15 defense, 14 stamina. At level 29 though, you can hit 1499, which does actually yield the highest stat product available inside the Great League. Now, if we actually compare Quagsire up against the entire Timeless Cup, you're actually going to end up with a 22nd in bulk and a 19th in stat product, which is just so good. Of course, all of this does come from our base stats with a 152 on attack, 143 in defense, and a 216 in stamina. And those are some actually really solid numbers. Now, of course, we know that's only half the picture. Let's actually take a look at our moves to kind of get the full picture to see what we're really working with. Of course, in terms of fast moves, we do have Water Gun and Mud Shot. And as usual, there's not really a big contest here until Quagsire gets another interesting fast move, I guess. Mud Shot's really gonna, usually hold the reign here with 4.5 energy per turn. That's just really hard to give up. It really makes Quagsire so much more consistent when he uses Mud Shot versus when he uses Water Gun. Now, of course, there's always a great debate in terms of which charge move that you should go with, whether it's Sludge Bomb, Earthquake, Stone Edge, or Acid Spray. Now, I tried to run several different iterations of this, and honestly, like, Stone Edge was the one that actually did a ton of work for me, and I think that Stone Edge is probably going to be the more secure move to go with. I know that a lot of people are going to say, well, Sludge Bomb is probably the better one, or Earthquake is definitely the better one because of this, and I know. Hear me out though. Stone Edge performed the best when paired with Acid Spray, and I'm a huge guy to campaign for the fact that Acid Spray is not a lethal move. It's definitely not a lethal move, but it's a setup move. In the scenario where you can set up to do Acid Spray maybe once or twice before Quagsire dies, and then come in and be in like an unfavorable matchup and still actually end up winning it, that's what I really like Quagsire for. So I of course had to give him Acid Spray, and then I tested whether Sludge Bomb, Earthquake, or Stone Edge would basically be better for us, and Stone Edge definitely put up the best numbers here, so that's what we're actually going to go with. Our complete moveset is actually going to be Mud Shot, Stone Edge, and Acid Spray. Let's get into these shield scenarios. Up against the entire cup, in the 0 versus 0, we start out with a 65.6, which is always great because we're at least looking for 50% there. In the 2 versus 0, we have an 89.1, which is definitely respectable. Not amazing, but definitely respectable. In the 0 versus 2, we have a 17.7, which is definitely good considering that we're at least looking for 10%. The 2 versus 2 is actually an 80.7 though. That is crazy. So if you can imagine, we're gonna have a super duper weakness to the grass types, and yet we still end up putting up an 80.7 as an opener. That's bonkers. That literally is like one of the best opening scenarios that I think I've seen all month. That is just amazing. Now, in terms of the entire meta though, this is where it does shift a little bit, because in the 0 versus 0 we do drop down to a 45.9, which is close to 50, but we're still not quite hitting it. In the 1 versus 0 we do drop to a 73%, which is respectable but not amazing. In the 0 versus 1 though, this is what I'm liking. A 43.2%. Holy cow, even when the opponent has a shield up on us, we still end up with 43.2% win ratio. That is just amazing. Lastly, in the 1 versus 1 though, we do end up with a 67.6, which is a drop from our entire cup scenario, but hey, that's still pretty freaking crazy. So if we actually take a look at that 1 versus 1 and break down what we actually win and lose up against, remember, we had a 67.6 here. As far as our wins go, we have Lantern with Charge Beam, Ninetales, Torkoal, Skuntank, Castform in its Sunny form, Typhlosion, Glalie, Lapras, Drapion, Sudowoodo, Muk, Celio, Charizard with Fire Spin, Lantern with Water Gun, Castform in its Snowy form, Dragonair, Shogun, Kingdra, Venomoth, Charizard with Air Slash, Frost Slash, Castform in its Rainy form, Ivysaur, Blaziken, and Quagsire. Yes, we actually do win the mirror match here, which is actually pretty interesting because in PvPoke, the preferred moveset that they have, I want to say something, but I'm gonna look it up instead because that feels like the right move here. PvPoke actually does prefer Earthquake and Stone Edge rather than having Acid Spray, and you know, I've already kind of explained how I feel about that, but in just so you're aware, it is a really close match. It's not like it's just a flat out win, but at least we win the mirror, right? Now, as far as our losses go, we actually do have 4 different ties here, which you can see in the top right hand corner. Banette, Haunter, Venusaur, and Whiscash are all going to be ties, but we actually don't have too long of a list of losses here. Blastoise, Swampert, Meganium, Sceptile, Gloom, Victreebel, Bellossom, and Ludicolo. And honestly, a ton of those, literally 6 out of 8 are grass types, which is crazy. I mean, that really goes to show you what we really have a problem with. So if we actually take those 8 Pokemon here, and we actually break them down into categories, this was quite hard with only 8 Pokemon, we can basically tear these down into 3 simple categories that we do really bad up against versus what we should actually pair with Quagsire to help us take out these losses. So, if you look at the first category, there's a big consistency in the Razor Leafers. Things like Ludicolo, Bellossom, or Victreebel always will get under our skin, especially considering our typing here. And one of the easiest ways to get through that is basically using bug types like Venomoth or Sceptile or another bug type. Anything in the bug type that utilizes some bug type moves will actually help take out a ton of the Razor Leafers because in general all of the Razor Leafers are gonna be weak to that bug typing. Next one that we actually have a problem with is kind of like the Frenzy Plant users, kinda, sorta. So like Sceptile and Meganium, definitely gonna give us a ton of problems here. So one of the best ways to handle those is the Ice type. And the Ice type is basically going to be something like Glalie, Frostlass, or even Castform in its snowy form. And those are basically going to take care of those pure grass types that don't carry some other weird typing that you can kind of get underneath. And then the last category here is actually the Hydro Cannon users. Things like Blastoise and Swampert are going to give us a ton of problems, and you can easily counter those with any grass type like Ludicolo, Bellossom, or even Venusaur. They will all do really, really good here. So that is actually going to be it for Quagsire, guys. Thanks so much for hanging out. Thanks so much for watching. I definitely love Quagsire. I still love Quagsire. I can't ever stress how good he is and give it enough praise. But either way, if you are interested in dictating what the next deep dive is going to be, you can always go down into the description, check out the Discord server, and you can join it and kind of help vote for whatever you want to see next. So until Friday, I'm going to go ahead and head out and see. Thank you guys so much for watching. Always remember that if you like to like videos, you could do that, but if you don't, you could be that guy. Otherwise, let me know what you have to say down in the comments below about the video. I do highly appreciate you guys watching. If you guys want to support me in any way, there are several links down in the description for Patreon, joining the community here on YouTube, or even just directly PayPal if that's your thing. I greatly appreciate everyone's name that's on screen, as you guys have showed some sort of support outside of just viewing the videos, and I thank you guys. You don't understand from the bottom of my heart. So until our next video, guys, I will catch you then.